I had Titus on April 18, 2008, and I had a complicated pregnancy. He was already diagnosed with autism, sensory issue, and speech impairment. But I pretty much knew early on, about 18 months, 2 years, that something was wrong.
It was shocking and it was very upsetting. And me personally, I was in denial that, no, it can't be my son.
You kind of have a death to what your child's going to be, and you grieve for it because you take them to the store and they're not the normal kid. And then Ezra, he was born on May 29, 2012. Born with nothing was wrong, everything was fine.
When I first saw him, at the time I thought back about when I first held Titus, and it was a very joyous moment. At the same time, I thought back about what we've been experiencing with Titus, and in my mind, I couldn't help that maybe this time, we'll have a perfect, I guess, child.
We were at home and he was making all these loud gurgling noises. And so we went to a specialist, Galar. He was in Dallas, and he said he has severe hydrocephalus. And I was like, what is that? And they were like, that's water on his brain. And he couldn't track, he couldn't look up and down, around. His head was so big, he was in pain. And so that Wednesday, he had his brain surgery, he had a shunt put into his brain.
It was pretty much a continuous thing of in and out the hospitals. And I was like, oh God, why are you doing this to us?
So at that point, I was just hopeless. I really couldn't pray. I didn't know how to pray because all I saw was a tunnel of darkness and no end. They ended up misdiagnosing him with SMA type 1, which is like ALS, led to a trach, a button, and a ventilator, and that took his life. And he coded 3 times, and we took him off of life support July 1st, 2014.
Our marriage was pretty tough, and we actually did not find out about that until Ezra passed away. And that's when everything came falling down. It was like worst time of my life.
I felt like I had failed as a wife, as a mother, as a Christian. I felt like I was nothing because I can't get my husband to talk to me. I can't help my children. I have no purpose to be on earth. Why am I here? I have no reason to even exist anymore. We probably didn't come back to church for maybe like a month and a half. And we came back in and was dropping Titus off, and Megan was like, how are you guys doing? And she was like, well, have you thought about the marriage retreat? Because she took me to lunch. And I said, oh no, I didn't know about it. It was a special needs marriage retreat. I was like, whatever. Hopefully they have separate beds so I can sleep over here and you sleep over there. Because at that point, we didn't really have a relationship.
She brought it up, I was like, a retreat. And so it was during football season. So I do all the fancy football stuff. The rooms didn't have internet and TV. I was like, oh man, how are we gonna get together? So I'm actually gonna have to talk with her. And the special thing about it is we bonded on another level. And I'm very, very grateful that I did take the chance and attended the retreat, because I believe that started the process of healing our marriage.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
How much do you Anything is possible with God and His help and leadership. We can do it. And we're a team, so we're here to stay in it for the long haul. Say yes.
Yes.
Okay.